Before you begin, make a border using tape. So that it doesn't rip the watercolor paper, make the tape less tacky by placing it on a piece of clothing repeatedly before you place it down. Drizzle Elmer's rubber cement on the paper and allow it to dry completely. Using clean water and a watercolor brush, wet the entire paper. Moving quickly, apply your watercolor paints, allowing the colors to overlap and run into each other. You'll notice that when I'm changing colors, I always dip the brush into a dirty cup first, and then a clean cup of water, and then I go into the new color. If you have any puddles forming on your watercolor paper, use a paper towel to soak up some of the paint. Here's another example of laying down the paints and allowing the paints to run into each other. Remember when you're changing colors to always dip your brush into the dirty water, then the clean water, then the new paint. This will keep your colors crisp. To make a cauliflower bloom, wait until the sheen has left the paper, but it's still a little wet. Let the paint dry just a little, and then, using a clean brush, put drops of clean water onto the paint. This is how this piece looked after it dried, and I took the tape off the edges. The next step is removing the rubber cement by rolling up a small ball and using it as a soft eraser to pick up all the lines. The second to last step is using a fine line felt tip marker to outline your work. You can follow the cauliflower lines and you can follow the resist lines. When you come to a resist line on the intersections, we don't cross over the intersection. You can make your designs interesting by choosing to either go on the inside or the outside of the cauliflower lines. Be creative. And don't forget to outline the edge. If you make a mistake along the edge of one of the lines, you can always change it into a thicker line and make it a design element. If the paper ripped a little bit along the edge, outline it. The last step is to mount your artwork onto a piece of cardstock. Find every possible reason to outline and have fun with it. It can be a very meditative process. And lastly, sign and date your piece of art.